hope y'all are right about Hiyuki. Because if not, well. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Here's another fun fact. Yeah! You know what time it is. It's peak Kagurabachi time. It's peak every week. At least every week it drops. So you know I have to pre-draw it. But I am excited. Obviously no chapter title on the first page because it's Kagurabachi, man. I don't know. It's rare. It's like a 50-50 shot. But with that being the case, I'm intrigued. Obviously, it's very interesting, right? Looking at the context of the narrative when it's doing something as major as an entire prequel part. But I think at this point, the thing that doesn't necessarily intrigue me is the end state of things. The destination is already known. About every single character we're being introduced to is either traumatized or gone by the time we get to part one, you know, the actual main narrative. But I am very interested to see this journey and the context where certain people reach the points that they do. And also just get answers on the locations of where some characters are. Because I'm assuming Chiaki's gone, right? Right? Like, we know, like, we just don't know. I don't know. And we still don't fully know the state of the Nikaboshi if they're actually truly fully wiped out. We have so much to learn still. And this part 2 has been giving me so much to learn. So I'm very excited. So let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 124 of Kagurabachi. Akemura, what's the matter? Oh, jeez. From the nose, from the eyes, from everywhere, just dripping. Let's see. Did the big boys pick on you again? Is this a bump on your head? Jeez. Like, knowing what this man will become. But you know, it is always interesting, right? We always, at least to me, it's weird for me to... What the heck are you? Oh, what the heck are you? I'm sorry, something popped up. Whatever. But essentially, it's not moving. So let's see. But essentially, it is weird to conceptualize the continuous nature of human existence, right? Like, thinking of me as I am right now in this moment, and thinking of me as I was 5 years ago, for example, we're the same guy, but not at all, right? like my motivations, my experiences, my existence is still contextualized. I've always borne the same name, I've always had the same family, but it's just different, right? But at the end of the day, they're both still me. And go back even further. Man, I'm old. Go back 20 years. And I'm a very different person then than I am now, right? Like there's it's interesting to acknowledge the continuity of self, right? The idea that even though like our bodies consistently die and replace themselves over and over and over and over and over again, we're still us, right? Who we are is still us. So we are seeing the continuity of Akemura Soga in bits and pieces. And to think that this boy, who clearly used to be picked on and beat up by larger Soga clan kids, essentially will become a monster. Presumably for his clan as well, as he still, I'm guessing, did everything for the sake of his sister. Especially now knowing that his sister is sacrificing herself. Something tells me Akemura didn't take that all too well. But we know, that's the crazy thing, we know that ultimately, somehow, some way, because Chihiro isn't born yet, and obviously just by the context of the narrative that we have right now here in part 2, she's gonna make it. And she's going to be with Kunishige. We just don't know when and how. We're in a very interesting spot. I give unbelievable amounts of credit to Hokuzono for being very specific yet very vague in so many places that I genuinely don't fully know how things are gonna go. In a prequel part. Very impressive. Let's see. Fight back. You're a boy. It is very funny. I feel bad because I've always been a bigger guy, like, and a bigger kid too. So no one ever, not even like older kids risked it. Because they're like, it's not worth fighting that pencil kid. He's going to do something, and it's going to be bad. So luckily enough, I never had to deal with that. But I do know it is a thing. Akemura's not a fighter. He's too sweet. It's again that continuity of self, man. Once upon a time. But It's not fair, right? Leave it to your big sister. I'll handle them. Wipe your nose. Aw. That's sweet. She did everything to protect them. Don't have an older sister. I'm the eldest of my family line, or at least of my parents. Not anywhere near the eldest of my family line is in my direct bloodline. But very specifically, I have a woman, like one of my cousins, who I do consider an older sister, but like not anywhere near. Like these two are relatively close in age. I'm not relatively close in age to even my next oldest female cousin, so I can't really say anything like that. But still, it is nice and sweet to see what she does for him and what she's willing to do for him. And it's unfortunate what must now happen in the present. Let's see. You just be you. He's gonna just be him, all right. It actually, funnily enough, that's actually very interesting because, but at least from what we know, what middly random noises, what precious little we know of the Akemura of the modern day, he still technically is yet isn't just being him, because when you think about it, he lives in this idea that he is the guardian protector. He's a manifestation of a spirit, essentially, protecting Japan no matter what. Everything that could be done, everything that would be done, that's what he is, and all that is entailed within that. And thusly, he's not necessarily Akemura. He's making himself that, right? Like, he's choosing to be that in a way. But this sweet little boy clearly isn't what we see now, which is very interesting to see. What will change that? Presumably the war. It's like, this is for you. No thanks. Oh, that's big sis will protect you. Oh, give him a stick. Hey, I understand it. I love collecting sticks when I was younger. Sticks and rocks. If a rock was even slightly off color, I was like, mine. But of course, I wasn't allowed to bring it in. Let's see. Oh, that was quick. All right. And then the butterfly. I wonder what those flowers are. Anyone who actually knows flower like language or anything like that, please let me know what these flowers are, and let me know the significance of them being behind Akemura. Maybe these, because these don't look like. Maybe these are the flowers spawned by the Magatsumi, but I don't think so. But Akemura, chapter 124, powerless. Powerless to save his sister, at least for right now. What's it? That actually makes his choice to stand down and resign his power after the war even more interesting. Presumably he went his whole life being powerless, being the youngest son of a branch family, even with his sister rising up in status, and presumably him rising up in status a bit too. He never had the power before. Obviously, this chapter is called Powerless, and presumably it's from Akemura's perspective. But in that same case, even though he didn't have the power, once he gained the power, he was still willing to give it up. Probably, once again, because he, at his core, even as he got older, was a kind, sweet boy. What's it? Giyu! Tomoyoka? I know it's Giyu Soga, but still. Let's see. What's that? Mr. Giyu kicked it. Apparently, he saw Master Hiruto's corpse. That's crazy. You know what, though? I will give credit to Hokuzono Sensei. I'll say Suzuki Sensei, and who's a third? I think I'll keep it to those two. They are very, very good at keeping. How do I word this? Keeping the power tangible and real, right? Like, as much as I love to scale all these characters to planetary, solar system level, multi-galactic, universal, out of like levels upon levels upon levels beyond, right? And there's good arguments for a variety of characters I talk about that all reach those points. After a certain point, it does get a bit disconnected, right? Like, I can't fathom the idea. I can't even, realistically, if I put my mind to it, I can't even visualize, like, in my head, continuously, like, 200 people. I've met way more than 200 people in my life. I don't think I could, like, actively sit there and visualize one by one. I can probably get, like, I'm thinking right now, I probably get to, like, 30 if I'm really focusing super duper hard and, like, thinking actively and referencing back to, like, using my brain to its fullest capacity to go one by one. Even then, I can't, like, picture them all at once standing in one place without some people being overlapped or covered. And because of that, it's hard for me to conceptualize the idea of, like, a multiverse exploding. It's been drawn in very interesting ways, but, like, that's still different and difficult and odd and strange to me for a bit. So seeing a slightly superhuman, not even slightly, just a superhuman feat like this, just the kicking over of a massive tree, really, really cool. Fantastic work. Suzuki Sensei does a lot in Sakamoto Days too, where the characters are superhuman to a clearly visible degree, but it's 2 degrees we can understand. I can picture a tree being knocked over. I can picture buildings collapsing and being destroyed. I can even picture the fall of skyscrapers and stuff like that. But universal destruction, not really. Let's see. Interesting though. He looks more like Yoshinojo, ironically enough. He doesn't look like his brother. Let's see. After the death of Hiruto Soga, the previous chief of the Soga clan, the role passed down. Yeah, okay, so it is. I said brother just on assumption, but yeah, it is his brother. Let's see. The role passed down to his younger brother, Giyu Soga. Okay, so he was the chief of the clan. And I mean, that makes sense. He was the strongest, and that's usually how things go in these cases. But interesting, chief of the clan. And now he's just gone. So yeah, now goes on to Yu, who very still we do know does not possess the ability to wield Kodotsuchi, despite being extremely physically powerful himself if he kicked over this tree. Let's see. Giyu Soga. He was as skilled as Yoshinojo, the Sogo. He was as skilled as Yoshinojo, the Soga's second in command. But he was not selected to go to Irishima in consideration of his future. Interesting. I mean, worked out. He didn't end up dying. But, yeah, now he's left. And presumably, like I said, he does look a lot more. Like, he doesn't actually look like Hiruto at all. He looks a lot more like Yoshinojo. That may have been, I'm guessing, his father? Father or uncle. Like, that resemblance is crazy. They have the same jawline and everything, the same nose structure, same eye structure. He doesn't actually look a lot. If anything, Akemura looks more like Hiruto. And so does, funnily enough, the woman that died last chapter, or not literally last chapter, but the previous princess of the Soga clan, and Chiaki herself. Let's see. I'll surpass my older brother. Yeah, so interesting. So Hiruto was the older of the two, but he actually looks older. But then again, facial structure can do that. Let's see. Soon, Kodotsuchi will dwell within my body too. Yeah, but that's not enough. Like, unfortunately, you aren't strong enough, and you likely won't be. 1, if you just weren't as strong as your brother to begin with, to the point where only Kodotsuchi would dwell within his body, and 2, if Kodotsuchi was enough, he would have won. The best you'll be able to do is stall, maybe run away faster, but you're not going to be enough, man. You're not going to be enough, Giyu Tomioka. Maybe if you awakened your let me stop. Let's see. I will be my brother's replacement. As chief of the Soga clan. I don't know why. There are 2 things I do now that I've noticed, even in videos, and even occasionally not in videos, which is even showing you what happens in real life. But considering I don't really mention it all too much, but whenever I read Soga, I do that. I don't go Soga. Even though saying Soga would be simpler, it would save time. I don't go Soga. I go Soga. Akemura. Soga. And another thing, this one I know where it came from though. Karthu's Dojo. And I haven't watched a Monster Collection in a while, but Karthu's Dojo very specifically goes Son Goku, which is, I think, meant to be a reference to how it's just traditionally pronounced, and also a reference to Son Wukong, the original, the origin, not the origin, but the inspiration for Goku. Son Wukong versus Sun Wukong, right? Like, you can say it 2 different ways: Sun Wukong or Son Wukong, and Son Goku versus Son Goku, right? Like, you can hear the difference, right? So 2 of those things I do. I don't know why. I know the Karthu's Dojo thing, but even then, I never say Son Goku like that, and I've heard many different pronunciations, but I've latched on to Karthu's Dojo pronunciation of Son Goku so specifically. Let's see. As chief of the Soga clan, he strongly supported handing Chiaki over to the Mikuboshi. Mikuboshi. I think that's a typo, because I believe it's Mika, but Mikuboshi. Oh, actually, maybe it's Mikuboshi. Is it Mikuboshi or Mika? Hold on. I'm doing anything. Come here. I am going to fact check. Mikaboshi? That is not. Oop. Mikaboshi. I did not type that. Mikaboshi. Kagurabachi. Is that a typo? Yeah, looks like a typo. It is Mikaboshi, not Mikuboshi. Mikuboshi does sound cool though too. All right, Amatsu Mikaboshi. Oh yeah, that was a direct reference. Amatsu Mikaboshi. But all right. All that being the case, that is, I mean, I understand because of the whole they didn't like Chiaki being from a branch family in the first place, and thus giving that branch family more power, but also he clearly isn't strong enough yet, so he wants time to stall and train to get powerful enough to wield the Kuretsuchi. And I guess he also knows that, like, no matter what, they're probably gonna attack anyway, so might as well comply with their demands. So hopefully, like, essentially, in a roundabout way, Japan is trapped in the ultimate catch-22. Either they don't comply with the demands of the Mikaboshi, and they risk immediate war, or they comply with the commands of the Mikaboshi, risking immediate war, but still there's a chance that the Mikaboshi actually honor their word, which they really have no reason to. Like, the Mikaboshi can just ball out, right? And if I'm the Mikaboshi, I'm balling out. I don't care. I'm not going to give you time to do whatever. I'm going to take over the whole island again. I waited long enough. I'm blowing your cheeks out no matter what. Sure, give me exactly what I want. I'm taking more, right? Like, that's what I'm doing for the Mikaboshi, but who knows? Maybe their pride and their arrogance would prevent them from doing that, and maybe it did. But time is what Giyu needs, and thusly doesn't really care. There is a baby girl that may inherit the power. Of course, he wants to get rid of the one that he doesn't have direct, complete dominion or control over. So, yeah, it makes sense that he'd make a choice like this. What's it? Oh? Who is this? Is this their mother? Go and kill him. Mother, what are you? Oh! Do they have an older brother? Okay. Huh. Wait, this guy. Is this guy? Hold on. Okay, so this must be part of the branch family. I think this is this guy because I see the scar there. I see the scar here. What? Mother. Okay. So I didn't realize there was a third. Okay, I wonder if he's alive still. Because this is Chiaki's mother, making this Chihiro's grandmother, and this is obviously Akemura and Chiaki's mother. Or yeah, Akemura and Chiaki's mother, and this guy's mother too. So there were actually three kids. There are actually three kids. Huh. I'm actually low-keenly intrigued by that. Hold on. My toes? Oh, they cracked. They cracked. They cracked when I went to curl. Mobby. But, alright, interesting. Mother, what are you? In just a few days, Chiaki will... Never mind. Just kill the chief. You know what, though? I mean, once again, you could definitely argue this is for, trying to maintain her own status, right? Obviously, once they lose Chiaki, then they will just be reduced back down to branch family, this, that, and the third. But I also do believe, in a roundabout way, even if it is a bit twisted, this is also, strangely enough, her professing her love for her daughter, right? I mean, honestly, though, I get it. Even for someone who's so heavily steeped in, this is for the world, this is for Japan, this is for everything. Everything's for the world, everything's for Japan, everything's for everyone else, until it's your own, right? And ultimately, even if she was, quote-unquote, living lavish thanks to being promoted to something important thanks to Chiaki, that's still her daughter. And you can see that she's throwing all that away if it means keeping her daughter safe and not sacrificed. But it looks like her son, who looks like he's low, right? Like, look, they're reduced to the etc., right? Yeah. That's beyond my capabilities, mother. Yeah. Let's see. And look at Giyu. He's hitting that pipe and he's like, I will restore the Soga clan. Yeah, good luck with that, brother. I see you once in the narrative. You may get fauterized. Let's see. I pay homage to Princess Chiaki. She's protecting this country with her courage. And you know what? I don't know why. Kagurabachi has me saying this phrase the most. Technically, he's not wrong. But like, and I get it, right? The last prophecy didn't really do much for him. Ultimately, they all ended up dead. But, like, even if the baby, let's say the baby, inherits the power, right? The baby won't be able to speak 4 years. Like, speak coherently. I don't know. Admittedly, I think I was, like, an averagely developing baby. I could say thank you at, like, age 1. After consistent exposure. And who knows? They're expecting Hyuki to fight in a couple months. Like, what? Like, 6 months? So it's like, 1-year-old baby Hyuki, who admittedly, I do agree more with the idea that Flamebone is much more Kurama-esque than it is, like, actual sorcery. In the sense of, yeah, it probably is somewhat sentient, and it sort of just inhabits the vessel of whoever owns it, and then maybe at first, the baby Hyuki could only call upon it to do things for it, and now she can manifest only pieces of its body. So, like, maybe that's it, and that's why baby Hyuki's actually, like, a viable thing. But in this specific moment, as viable as Baby Yuki is, I don't know, man. They're both protecting the country, but are they really? And will they even have enough time? Well, the thing is, though, once again, with knowing the narrative, they did have enough time to develop the Enchanted Blades. They weren't immediately bowled over by the Mikaboshi. So, Mikaboshi did fumble the bag. Somehow. Let's see. Oh? Oh? Looks like his older brother didn't have the capabilities, but looks like, yeah, Akemura pulled up. Katana in hand. Okay, let's see. But it makes sense. He loves his sister. Let's see. And they're the flashes of it. And to be fair, it is it's very corny. I know. Oh, beware the kind man who's lost the ability to be kind. But some of the sweetest, kindest, most loving people I know who deeply care for somebody are the ones I'd be worried about if they ever lost it. Like I just not. It's not something I wouldn't even want to see it for a variety of reasons, but also I'd just be worried for my health and others. More than some people who I know are like genuine threats to themselves and others. Like genuinely dangerous individuals in terms of like just refinement and knowing it and maybe having a little bit of tweakage in them. But Akemura, well, we know the darkness that he dove into, so it makes sense that it was present all the way back here. What's it? Akemura, it's understandable. His older sister will be handed over to the enemy, merely to buy time. However, Akemura, leave your katana. Okay, so this is the rest of the... So this is the rest of the 4-man band here. So this is the 3rd level rung down. Technically now the 2nd level, though, with heroes all gone. Let's see. Or technically it could still be the 3rd level. But, I don't know. Because, yeah, Gyu moved up. Yoshinojo's gone. There is no 2nd level. Now it's just them. Let's see. Once again, none of these, to be fair, though, it's a branch, it's a large family, so it makes sense that they all look so different, but at the same time, there's, like, nothing screams Soga about these people. Hiruto looks like Akemura, who looks like Chiaki. They, like, if I look at them, and even then looking at Chihiro, they all look like Soga, even though Chihiro does look a lot like his dad. But, none of these guys, none of them scream Soga to me. But let's see. Your sister has volunteered to take on an important duty to protect this country. Do not undermine that resolve. I mean, I get it. You can't be trained 24/7, but brother, you gotta be trained. Like, I get Akemura's anger, especially because right now it doesn't look like you're doing anything. You're just giving up his sister and sitting around. And in his mind, he's like, it'd be one thing if maybe after kicking down the tree, they just found Gyu just swinging the sword over and over and over again, pushing up over and over and over again. Like, if they were begging him to stop, like, hey, you still need to take time and rest in order for this training to mean anything. But dude, you're sitting around smoking a pipe after you're selling the sister. On the possibility that the enemy, who wiped out the guy who was stronger than you, doesn't take the sister anyway and bowl you over. I get Akemura's fury, absolutely. Let's see. Oh? Uh-oh. There, and once again, looking a lot. Interesting, though. Because we know Samura encounters Akemura before the war. Specifically, both when they were slaying evildoers. And this image of Akemura here reminds me very much. I love how, like, limp he looks here. But this image of Akemura especially reminds me of the one consumed by that like, it's weird to say it. That malice, question mark? But I don't know. Akemura, he does feel like one of those beings that's, like, oddly pure, yet commits the most heinous acts. Let's say. Master Akemura! Oh, interesting. Oh, you went from, hey, stand down, to call... Oh, wait, no, is that his brother? Oh, that may be his brother. Yeah, I think it may be his brother. Or, well, that's weird, though. Because if that's their mother, why are you calling him master? That's your little bro, ain't it? Let's see. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that. Maybe they're not actually related. Maybe that mother thing was a mistranslation. Let's see. If you make a scene, we'll have to use force to contain you. Shing? Oh? Unsheath? Hey! Did he just think, well, I mean, his mama did say do it. His mama did say up it. That is just the pipe. Oh, did he slash you in half? Okay. No. Didn't slash Gyu. But Gyu looks familiar. I think it's a side build. He reminds me of Sinbad, ironically enough. Not in terms of facial structure, but in terms of, like, this side build. He gives very strong Sinbad Magi vibes. But interesting. Akemura did meet him, did slash his pipe off, Well, I won't make a joke, but did slash his pipe off, and very specifically showed him, hey, I could literally do it. Because look at that, all three of them got flat out perception blitz. They didn't even see him move. They're all still looking at him. They're all sweating. They would have all been dead if he wanted. And I honestly think, especially considering he's sitting here seemingly defenseless, I don't see anything. We know he right now does not have Kurotsuchi dwelling in his body. So, Yu here is defenseless. So this is Akemura essentially telling him, I could have just done it. I could have sliced you down right now. And you think you're going to be able to stand where Hiruto did? You think you're going to be able to replace him? I just think around here doing nothing as you put my sister on, like, yeah. Yeah, and it's good to see. It's all retroactive foreshadowing, right? Which is hilarious because this is a prequel, but it is a lot of retroactive foreshadowing where we get to see the dangers and the monster that Akemura was even here to further contextualize and help us understand the monster he is by the modern narrative. But let's say, Master Hiruto would have chosen differently. Interesting. See, and I'll admit, it is the unfortunate thing about the nature of Hiruto and Yoshinojo, and even Mashiro, yes, as characters. I don't know. Like, we don't know enough about that. It would have been interesting to see the dynamic between the previous head of the Soga and Akemura. Like, that would have been interesting. And I wonder how much of Hiruto's mindset did actually end up leaking into and affecting Akemura. Maybe that fight for those you care about and fight for those you love and your duty, right? The slaying evildoers. Maybe that was instilled into Akemura by Hiruto, right? Because we still technically don't have much of an origin for that. It could have been Chiaki, it could be Hiruto, it could be a mix of both. But we just don't know enough about Hiruto. But clearly Akemura believes in this moment that Hiruto would not have chosen to sacrifice Chiaki. And well, I do understand. Let's see. Yes, he would have fought and died. Which he did. But still, interesting. Even though he was left in a very vulnerable position, even though his pipe was cut, even though everything on that level, Giyu, for one, isn't like lashing out at Akemura. He's explaining himself. And also, he is meeting Akemura. That more than in a way than I expected, right? Especially with him sitting here smoking a pipe. He is meeting Akemura at his level. He's like, yeah, I agree with you. He would have chosen differently. Here's the reasoning behind mine. He even says, if you don't like it, go and kill the Mikaboshi. And yep, and there's Hiruto's body. So it looks like maybe even Akemura himself saw it too, right? So it's I still think ultimately they make the wrong choice, and we'll find out that the wrong choice that they made was indeed wrong, and they will end up needing the Enchanted Blades, which they already passed out or crossed out for baby Hiyuki. But in that same case, you can tell here that Akemura is indeed powerless, as the chapter title dictates, where he can't do anything about this, right? Not just because he doesn't have the powers not clan head, but if he could, he would have gone on to slay the Mikaboshi. And we know he does. If anything, I would not be shocked if the reason he decided to slay the Mikaboshi afterwards wasn't even because he really felt like they were in real danger. It's because off this one where they threatened his sister, he went in and was like, no, I can't let a single one of them who would do that again live. And presumably they do, because like, we know that Chihiro and we know for a fact that Chihiro is made, like conceived, during the war. The war doesn't end because Akemura did meet Chihiro, as he says, when you were this big. Like he met him then, which was still during war times, right? Because, post the end of the war, they had the treaty, and then Akemura slaughtered them all anyway and was put in jail. So, in that same case, they do end up getting either Chiaki never goes, or they end up getting Chiaki back. One of those two things ends up happening, right? Because Chihiro has to be born. And it seems like the few people who were hoping that Chihiro would be the son of the Mikaboshi King or something like that, they're just not, that doesn't make sense because Chihiro's been confirmed in part 1 to have the Rokuhira Eye, which is something unique to them. So, in that case, somehow this does work. And maybe, once again, in a way, Giyu ends up influencing Akemura to kill the Mikaboshi in this statement. Let's say, Akemura! Oh, Chiaki. Akemura! Big sis, what are you doing? What, was Akemura always that fast? Well, Maybe, or maybe not. Let's see. Dot, dot, dot. True. Master Akemura possesses... But see, like, you keep calling him Master. This must have been a mistranslation. I must have been reading that wrong, right? Mother, what are you? Because this is the same guy. Beard and scar on the left side of his face. I think this is the same guy who just called him Mother. Like, he's calling him Master. And I know Master is something like something you refer to as... That's more like an English thing. A young, unmarried man, right? Like, the reason... at least, I forget if this is the context, the reason Alfred, when he was live in DC Comics, called Bruce Master Bruce is because he's a young, unmarried man, right? And that isn't just because he's literally the master as, you know, he's his butler, but, like, also that, which is British. Not necessarily, I'm not sure, but to be fair, I don't know enough about Japanese culture. Maybe that's a thing there, too. Let's see. Master Akemura possesses outstanding talent. He got so good, he was hardly recognizable. At the tender age of 16, I did anticipate he might equal them one day, but I didn't even intend to, but now, for a split second, I had almost mistaken him for Hiruto. Yeah, okay, that mother thing must have been a mistranslation, because he says obsession with his sister, he keeps calling him Master. I think they aren't actually related. Let's see. But interesting. And to be fair, like I mentioned, Hiruto does actually look a lot more like, or Akemura does look a lot more like Hiruto than Hiruto looks like even his own brother. Family, things happen. Genetics are weird. I don't look like my brother. But there are features in both of us that make it clearly recognizable that we are brothers. And you can trace all our features back to family members, right? And admittedly, some of them skip a generation. Like, there's some features that I have that don't exist on either of my parents, but they do exist in my grandparents, and I inherited it from them on both sides. Same thing with my brother. Let's see. Make a mistake in him for, all due to his obsession with his sister. How far will this propel Master Akemura? But, like, is it really an obsession, or does he just love his sister? Right? Like I don't know. I like, at least to me, siblings are like the one being who, while they aren't literally you, are the closest thing there will be to another you. Not even talking twins, like just siblings in general. You came from the same parents, you came from the exact same bloodline. In many cases, if you're lucky, you're raised in the exact same household. That is someone who will understand and be a piece of you more than anyone else in creation, other than your own children, which will literally be half of your biology. So I don't know if it's obsession, but love and deep care. But who knows? Maybe it's being characterized as an obsession because this guy doesn't know him very well. I don't know. Let's see. Why did you stop me? You'll be an amazing sword fighter one day. Don't waste your future like this. But those guys! I know. By sacrificing me, we can protect everyone. That's just how it is. But, like, you don't even have a guarantee of that. Like, I don't know, man. I get the Mikoboshi are descendants of a royal line, so maybe they do have some sort of, like, chivalric code of honor. I don't believe that, though, right? I really don't. But let's see. That's just how it is. I'll protect everyone, and you. I want to protect you. I'm not okay with that. Yeah. Even still. And hey, I get it. Like, admittedly, like I said, I don't have an older sister. But whenever I do visit that cousin that I think I essentially mentally protect as an older sister, I do try to do anything in my power to help her then, and even with my own parents, right? Like, they literally created me. I wouldn't be here without them. And in many cases, I don't really like when I can't do things for them in ways that I think would be beneficial because they still want to do it, or yada yada yada, or yada yada yada. It does suck, but ultimately it is like that, especially when you are the younger one, right? It is just how life is, unfortunately. But I wouldn't even say unfortunately. I think it's a good thing in many cases, but still, especially in this case, I understand why Akemura feels so, like, disparaging. And let's see. Things haven't changed one bit. Even though I took up the sword to protect you. Aww. Man, Akemura, dog. Well, we know he gets his get back eventually. Let's see. Oh, interesting. We're on a train. It's understandable. You can boast of your ability to forge swords, but your true talent lies in your powers of observation. The Rokuhira Eye, yep. You claim you can prevent the Datsun Psyche from exploding, but the truth is, it's a gamble. You would still be risking your life. The scientific rationale is dubious. Nobody's ever heard of you. Technically, yeah, Subaru is spitting facts, but we know he does end up working. Let's see. It's no wonder they refused. But on the other hand, the alternative is garbage. Yeah. And I get it. Desperate times call for desperate measures, but I don't know. If anything, I would go. Funnily enough, I would try multiple things at once, right? Like unironically, especially since you have no use for it right now, right? The Dustin is kind of just sitting there. It's pretty much useless as it is. So, at that point, I would, sure, being 100% gamble rational, right? Sure, sacrifice the Princess of the Soga. I still wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want to get rid of that information leverage. I'd probably fake it. Do they know what the Princess of the Soga actually looks like? I don't think so. Give them a random. Or like have someone sorcery do it. Like do something like that. But at the same time, do the Enchanted Blade plan and bet on Hiyuki. Like do both. I don't get the obsession with choosing just one when you have multiple options. But all on Atomic Baby, I guess. Let's see. Even though it's interesting that even Subaru himself is like, yeah, but what they're doing makes no sense. And hey, a lot of people agree. Let's see. Holding the ladder. Right. That's why I'm ready to force this and prove it to them. Oh, gee. Okay. Let's see. Sorcery Bureau. They demand we hand over Princess Chiaki and the Dotenseki. If we fail to comply with both demands, there's no deal. We have to send it to the Sorcery Bureau. Contact Hasumi. The research is over. Wow. Darn. Well, we know that didn't happen. The Enchanted Blade plan gets crossed out, but we know it fails, because the Enchanted Blades do get made. Let's see. Oh? Okay, so that's all... Interesting that they all managed to mine it in one big chunk. But that is very akin to the rock of Dotenseki that the Pikaboshi found on the island. Let's see. Phew. Oh? March 26th. The 36 kilogram. 36 kilograms? That's a lot. That's a lot. 36 kilograms is what? A kilogram is 2.2 pounds? That's like 68 pounds of... Okay, it explains it. So each sword is probably about 6 kilograms each, which is not too heavy. 12 pounds? I don't know how heavy any of my swords are. That's a good question. But still, let's see. 36 kilograms of the Dotenseki stored in the lab's underground facility was stolen. Oh, and it's Shiba doing it with Wicked Trick. Yeah. Still damaged up, too. Let's see. All the alarms have been shut down. It's only a matter of time before they find out. I can't believe I'm disobeying the higher-ups. Good man, Hasumi. Good man. Let's see. Ugh. I'm starting to act like you. Oh, and Shiba, just because of how serious everything has gotten, he doesn't even have a quippy, witty response. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's see. I'll answer for this. Now get going. Shinsaku Hasumi, the director of the research facility, was accused of being the mastermind behind the string of incidents. 10 days later, he resigned. Okay. They didn't execute him though, or in jail him though. He just resigned. All right. So he made it out fine. Let's see. You sure about this? All right. Wait, no, that's Chiro. You sure about this? Oh, you can't use this place without me. Yes, but it doesn't matter if I make a bunch of enemies. You're a national treasure. You sure you want to go up against the government? Well, we know you ended up being an Enchanted Blade Builder yet. Cut the nonsense. This is for the woman you love, right? Yeah. All for Chiaki. Interesting. I like that Subaru respects that. Let's see. March 27th, just before daybreak. The forge was lit with flames. That's the end of the chapter. All right. I feel like the chapter's a little short, but still. MW chapter. I like it. I like it a lot. I like this chapter once again because it's doing its slow build to the Enchanted Blades. It's a nice dual chapter where the first half is 100% based in Akemura and sort of establishing who he is, how he is, and giving us foundations for how he ended up as the man he did. From implied connections to Hiruto, to obviously his nature of the connection with his sister, to the nature of the Soga clan as a whole, to the choice to sacrifice Chiaki. Seeing his reaction was needed, was bound to happen. I'm glad we get to see it. Seeing his prodigy status established early on, retroactively of course, but still, established as a clear monster, beast, and a creature above everything else that's been presented to him so far, fantastic. Even Giyu, a character who I don't think we're going to see much of. He's either going to die off screen or he's not going to get too much screen time. But Giyu and his characterization here is actually really, really good. I like it. And I ultimately like his dynamic with Akemura, as short-lived as it is. And obviously, Akemura's powerlessness in comparison to him being the most powerful man in the world by the time of the modern narrative is a great dichotomy and will explain why now he 100% does not want to give this power up, as he was powerless before and never wants to be powerless again. But in that same case, it's great to see all the hard choices being made. The idea that the Enchanted Blades weren't an approved project, but they were made on a whim after being denied through the efforts of people who ultimately did not want to sacrifice for the greater good, and all for the sake of love. Very, very good stuff. And of course, it only makes it more tragic that the Enchanted Blades go on to commit such atrocities. So overall, a W chapter. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave "Forge alit with flames." That's just the whole sentence. Leave "Forge alit with flames" in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you want to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that links up notifications bells so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you're going to have a Patreon down below. You can support me for as low as $1 month. Get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Those perks include live reactions to the series I am to review, I do reactions of all my videos, early ad reactions to my videos, early ad reactions, not just all my videos on the main channel, but all my videos on the second channel, that called the reaction. Link to the description down below, and the card in the upper right-hand corner, because I gotta flip it and jack it up. Fun fact, if you want unedited, regular-looking reviews of all the Kagurabachi stuff and a couple other series I review, patrons and members get the full unedited versions. I have to jack it up so I don't get blown up. But now I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, J2MA, Buddha Ura, Yuki Ally, Grim, Ollie, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Tim Thomas, Kaving, RXN, Dead Meat, Keon Stewart, Edwin Igbinoba, Straw, Antavius Mitchell, Weary Exile, Alex Kenny, Todd, The Practical One, Landon Clapwick, Heath Nelson, CAET, Plant Grown, Brandon Payne, Multi-Batman Superman, Zalim, Sleepin' John, Mo City King DKG, Union Eye, Athenzi Shear, Sino King, CCC, Enzo, Kitty Liddy, Axis XC, Praise the Sun, Magic, and Doreen Bonnet, at JDog2656, Sheesh King, AZ Void, Professor Von Tuck III, Nevis97, Black Sage, Sky XT, Felix, The Young Family, Pastel Pandora, John Malcolm, Donovan McIntosh, Black Doctor Strange, Super Flame Zero, and Vlad. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: A+A, Kevin Encarnacion, Lucas Stace, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. And I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier member, Shrimp of the Forest Shrimp 06. And I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier member, Jay Warrior. And I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons, Walking Munoz and Joaquin Munoz.